Gurpreet, what role do you feel we can see MSMEs playing in the manufacturing space? And like Riju mentioned, perhaps even when we're looking at, India from a tier 2, tier 3 perspective and, the burgeoning of newer companies, younger companies feeding into that pipeline.
No, I think thanks. I guess what we are seeing from a structural, I would say tailwinds. There are 3 or 4 areas which, as India, I think we would see strong growth. One is India's consumption story. I think we are, as an economy, transitioning. I mean, now, while our per capita is 2,000, but if you see purchasing power parity, it's about between 5,000, 10,000 is what it is. And that set of countries, or what we've seen in the other countries, is that we have a good amount of what you call mechanization happening, because of there's a demand for infrastructure, consumer durables, all of that. The chain sets in. Then the other thing which at least I'm seeing is that we have this China plus one kind of is actually happening. It's been talked for about 5-6 years, but now after COVID and what we are seeing it happening in China, we are actually seeing movement of various companies across the world coming in India, trying to actually work, set up supply chains. It isn't only helping us; it's the whole of Asia. But I think we are one of the votaries. The third thing, which I would kind of club 3 or 4 things, is what are the prerogative. I mean, what we have set up as a country is infrastructure development, the whole renewable space which is coming up. These are new age industries. So if you were to, today we have solar panels being done, imported from China. And with all this PLI schemes which the government is putting out, I think there are many of them which will actually spawn the MSMEs. So when I'm talking about all these examples, I think what is it that the underlying theme, while it will, some of these aspects will do favor larger companies, but a good bulk of that will come with MSMEs. MSMEs are going to support the larger companies grow. So I think that's what I broadly see as opportunities for them.
Absolutely. Let me get you in on that, Mr. Bhatia, in terms of the kind of capex that's envisaged, the kind of role that MSMEs can play in the growth.
Well, as I mentioned that I think they are the ones who would really be at the ground level. And if we have to see the developments in the rural, or, the kind of population we have in the rural areas, I think the MSMEs is the only answer to provide employment there and to set up small and cottage industries there. He mentioned about there are various skilled products which are there which have not really seen the market. So I think this would, one, improve their income, and secondly, even the migration to the urban areas, I think that would also be addressed from that point of view if there is a focus is given on the rural areas to develop that. As I said, issues, of course, is the working capital and finance. It has been mentioned. It comes not only from the banks, or it comes from their payments get struck. The delayed payments is one of the major issues which MSMEs are facing, whether it is from PSUs or whether it is from the big companies or whatever. Although there is a law existing that 45 days you have to pay, but still, whether the implementation of that is there, no. Similarly, you talked about the tax incentives and other thing. I think most of the MSMEs are either partnerships or sole proprietorship. Now, they do not get the kind of tax incentives because they are a partnership firm or a sole proprietor, which is given to the companies or a corporates or whatever it is, where 25% tax is there or 15% is there. It is not given to them. I think that's something which would really encourage them to see, because they don't want to go to set up a company and to run it and to go into all those formalities and all. Finally, I would say that for them to grow, the way ahead for them, I would just say that I would like to touch that. I mean, they have to get used to the digitalization, which is the next level. They have to go up to the next level. They have to have given the kind of training, vocational training, skill development, all that. I think these programs have to be done at the ground level. And this can be done very well by the educational institutions or the government or both of them together. I think this would really help them to really come up.